added in my highlights, so I'm going to put that in there right now. I'm no Bob Ross myself, but I will try to channel him as much as I can, keep talking with you as I'm going through what I'm doing here. Right now I've just got a couple of different yellow colors and some light green put in there. Now, as you can see, I'm getting a little bit heavy right here at the front, but that's okay. Once it dries up a little bit, the opacity will take care of some of that. Right now I'm just using a natural hair brush. It's very soft to kind of give me a little bit of texture in with this. I've put in a little bit too much highlights there, so let's go back with some of that darker green. And since I'm using acrylic, I gotta try and get it to dry a little bit. I'm just dabbing in with it as I go, so that I hopefully keep some of these dark colors in behind it. Alright, so far so good. Sure, some of you are gonna make fun of me. I don't care. This is for me. I just wanted to show off some of my work. And since there was a little bit of doubt in there from some other fans, I felt it not necessary, but you know, credit where credit is due. This is my work, and it's my version. It's my happy little tree, if you will. Oh, got a little bit too much highlights again. But as you can see, it's still starting to dry here some, and I'm starting to keep the dark colors in there. Excellent. Like Mr. Ross says, you know, push some of the paint into the brush so that whenever you do dab, you don't fully get all of the color mixed in there and blended. As you can see from my palette, I've got the 3 different colors right here mixed up, but still not fully mixed. I do miss him. Hopefully he can live on through each and every one of us in some way, shape, or form. Excellent. Let's see here. Spread out the paint a little bit more on the paper here, so that I don't have this clumping like I did right there. Then as I have less paint, I can put a little bit more here in these darker areas and just make that pop. Give me a little bit of drying here. Got one of the bristles of the brush stuck to my painting. That's fine. Alright, now I wanted to throw some more of those highlights into these grassy areas. But if you're a fan of the Avatar series, you'll know that the banyan grove tree is huge. So I don't want massive brush strokes. And yep, there I am clumping it up again. But as I keep spreading it out, I can kind of make it look a little bit more like just little bits of grass or even some kind of weird trees as we go along. And I also want to try and do it in layers, starting from the farthest point coming up, so that as the farther points dry, the closer ones just go right over them. And I also don't want to keep it uniform either, because nature grows however it wants. Of course, because this nice, in reality, the banyan trees cause just great shade, so I'm kind of trying to keep a little bit of that shade underneath here too. I can kind of hear my girlfriend snickering at me a little bit in the background. Maybe it's just whatever she's watching. Let's see here. Let's try and make that a little bit darker back here. Yeah. That way, as I keep getting closer, we have a little bit more of the lighter ones up front. Yeah. All right. And see, even doing the acrylic on top of the dried acrylic, it's starting to dry here on the page, and we're getting some of those darker points again. Almost exactly what I was going for. Now, I might have to do something here in a moment that Bob Ross plans for, or at least planned for in advance. And that's putting more paint on the palette. Well, I don't have extra funding like he was afforded through his outlets. Someday soon, maybe I will. There we go. Oh yeah. And I'm sure there are some master painters out there that are going, "Oh my God, you're taking too long." I'm not doing this in a specific time frame. I'm doing it for myself. There we go. Okay, mix that up a little bit more. Taking this slightly darker green that I had, mixing more of that in there. Again, spreading it out on the page so that I can get it to blend into these areas. Maybe not so much blend, but spread it out. Either way, I don't know all the vocabulary. Let's see here. Yeah, that's looking a lot better there. Oh, I might have taken a little bit too much time on these extra dabs. They're starting to dry and not spread out as much as I wanted to. That's alright. Acrylic doesn't work like oil, and that's what Bob Ross always worked with, at least in his Joy of Painting series. acrylic still works very similar, as long as you keep it wet. Thing is, it dries a lot quicker than oil. A lot. Oh, still got a good clump there. Alright, let's see if we can... There we go. I need a little bit darker there. And then back to some lighter. Yep. Got too much clumping up here. That's fine. Oh yeah, these natural brushes, I don't know if I'm a fan of them just yet. Again, maybe I'm just not doing it right. That's okay. I'm just learning still. Learning through experience. I can watch Bob Ross all day, I can listen to how he does it, I can read books. Sometimes you just gotta get out there and do it. Still, that natural hair does give an interesting effect. Alright, back to some of that darker stuff. Yeah, there we go. Make it look like it's kind of coming up over the edge there with the coast of my ocean, which I realized was not in the series, but it was actually a swamp. Like I said, this is my version, and my version is based a little bit more off of the banyan trees found in Hawaii, which almost often are surrounded by water in more than a swampy style. Oh, and let's see here. Yep, keeping those highlights up there as it dries, while the dark is still coming through. Yeah, much better. Okay. Yep, looks like we are going to need to add some more paint to the palette. And I lost my brush. Almost lost the camera. There we go. Okay, so I just added a little bit more of that leafy green kind of thing, and then not even fully mixing it in with these other two yellows. And instead of pushing it together on the paper like I have been doing, I think pushing it into my palette is a better effect for what I'm going for. Oh, yeah, maybe I mixed it too much. That's okay. I'm learning. Yeah. A little bit there, a little bit of that one, a little bit of that one, and then not a full mix. That's a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. So I'm still getting the highlights of the yellow, but as I turn my brush, I'm getting the green and the others. Now, as these other areas have dried, go back and do some extra touch-ups on them. Since I've already signed it, I'm going to avoid that little area. Shame on me for signing a technically unfinished painting. Again, you art masters out there, have a laugh, please do. There we go. Now, let me sit back and look at this a moment. Yep, let's see if we can't get some more of this kind of effect over on this side. Let's see here. Taking some of that lighter green with that darker green that I had in here. And not even saying what the names of these colors are because I got them from a gift pack, and some of the color names you can't even find at the art store. There are the classics like Prussian blue and other stuff, but alizarin crimson, even so, my paints didn't even have that much specialty to them. Maybe ultramarine, or I did have one Prussian blue. I've got a crimson red on my palette here, but that's for my next painting that will also be a part of this video. I just wanted to touch this up and do it all in a continuous shot, just so that it didn't look like I was taking somebody else's painting. Now, my next painting, though, is not going to be a nature scene. It is going to be Avatar inspired. One of my favorite characters is Uncle Iroh. Have you guessed what I'm going to paint next? There we go. See, those highlights really pop nice against the shadow from underneath the tree. Now, let's get some more drying going on here. Not using an electric fan or something like that because I don't want it to dry too quick. I still want to be able to see if these colors are going to work, and they seem to be doing the trick. Oh yes. Actually, let's go ahead and add a little bit more up here. Kind of make it a little bit more pointy like it was in the series. I don't think that's going to last very much there, but that's okay. Maybe if I grab some of my browns that I had down here. Oh, this is going to hurt me. Yeah. Okay. It'll be just fine. Because I'm going to glob on top of it. Because as we know from the banyan tree in the series, most of the time it wasn't a nice bright green. Maybe there was a part of it that we're starting to enter the fall solstice and some of the leaves are starting to get a little bit darker there just before they fall off. Give you a little bit better shot there. Yeah, I think that does give it a better effect. I am happy with that. Now, gotta blend it down just a little bit more here so that that extra brown that I did kind of matches with some of the other stuff. All right. Just cleaning my brushes off, or my brush, only one I've used so far. Can't do it the same way Mr. Ross did it, because I'm trying to do all this painting in my room. And I have too many electronics that I don't want to get ruined. Just a little bit of warm water is all you need. Excuse me, just a little bit of warm water is all you need for acrylic paint brushes. And I set it down on a paper towel over here. Right there. I think with those extra highlights, it really makes that shadow pop. Now,